The Women's Leadership Institute in the Auburn University College of Liberal Arts is pleased to present Leaders Educating Through Discussion. We hope you will take a moment after you watch our presentation to add your own voice to the dialogue on our website, auburn.edu/womensleadership.
But I think also it was, I hope, putting some of the rules that I'm fixing to tell you about into practice. Some of the rules of navigating the Good Old Boys Network into practice. So let's hear what those are. Number one, do not approach the network with the idea of busting it up. Approach it with navigating it. It's not a matter of busting it up. Guys are there and they've been able to develop that network. It's just for us being able to be a part of it as well and to work with it. So really I think it's an attitude of not busting it up but navigating it. Rule 2, seek out for your support men who have daughters. It's amazing the double standard that husbands have that for their wives that they just don't have for their children, their girls. Isn't that right? My father, for instance, my mother wanted to run for the school board, the local school board. And my daddy would have nothing of it. He wasn't going to be married to a politician and somebody running for office. Of course, what happens when his little girl comes home and says, "Daddy, help me get the appointment and help me run." Of course, it was a different story, right? So seek out men with daughters. They do understand that helping you is helping them. Number 3, cross gender lines. Cross gender lines. Now, what do I mean by that? When I was running, I'd been a judge for 11, 12 years as a trial court judge. And then I decided that I was going to want to run for the Court of Criminal Appeals in 1994. And I met with one of my friends who had run 2 years earlier, had run a seat on the Court of Civil Appeals. And I was asking his advice and soliciting his help and who he knew and who I should talk to and all those kind of things. And he said, "Sue, you're going to win. You're going to win." And I said, "Why do you think that?" And he said, "Because you're one of those people who crosses gender lines." Representative Mary Sue McClurkin is here. She's one of those people. She has close female friends and she has close male friends. She's someone that both men and women like. The women that only have male friends or maybe only have female friends. Be one of those women that develops those kind of relationships and friendships with both men and women. And that will hold you in good stead, whether it's politics or the courtroom, like Carol Sue Nelson, or business, or wherever it is. I was on the campaign trail, and that year in 1981, I had to run just a few months after I got appointed. I was literally on a dirt road. Daddy was still driving, of course. And I pull up at this house, and there's a sweet little man with a white starched shirt and overalls. And I walk up and say, "Hi, I'm Judge Sue Bell." He's swinging on the front porch, a little house out in the country. He said, "I'm Sue Bell. I'm your new judge, and I'm running for election to a full term. I sure do need your help." And he said, "Judge Bell, I hear you're doing a fine job up there in Evergreen. I hear you're just doing a great job." And I said, "Well, thank you." I said, "I got this man that's moved into the county trying to get my job, and I sure do need your help." And he said, "Well, I hear you're doing a good job." He said, "I'm going to tell you what." He said, "I'm 81 years old, and I voted in every election since I was 21, and I ain't voted for a woman yet, and I don't plan on starting now." Well, I did not put him in the maybe category. Literally, though, moving right on down the road, literally almost like the next dirt road, I'm pulling up, there's a sweet little gray-haired lady, and I tell her I'm Judge Sue Bell, I'm the new district judge. And of course, the district court had not been there long, and the judicial article had only passed in the mid-'70s. And I said, I'm running for election, and I need your help. She bragged on me and said she'd heard such good things about me. And I said, "Ma'am, I sure do need your vote." And she said, "Oh, I want to vote for you, but I just don't think a lady needs to hear the kind of things the judge has to hear." And I did not tell her that was was the part of the job I liked. I left that out. Crossing those gender lines. But you know, you kind of got it coming and going no matter what. But I was able to defeat my opponent. I carried 36 out of 39 boxes and beat my opponent 2-1. And it was a lot of folks just pleased that I had come back home. You know, pleased that I had come back home to serve the people in Connecticut County. Rule number 4. Now, maybe this is easier said than done, but I don't think it's going to be a task for any of you. Be someone people like. Do people like negative people? Do people like, you know, somebody that's critical or gossiping or just all, you know, name whatever the things you don't like? Be someone people like. Be uplifting. Be an encourager. You know, be someone that lifts folks up, you know, a balcony person as opposed to a basement person. I can promise you that people rarely vote for, help, promote, assign new tasks, give promotions, hire. They rarely hire people they don't like. And they absolutely are never going to work for them or truly help them. So, how do you do that? I think it is being positive, being uplifting, being encouraging in a sincere way. You know, not an insincere way, but in a sincere way. I think it's utilizing humor. I just am absolutely convinced, y'all, that we do not have enough opportunities to laugh. And there's a lot of serious stuff going on, right, Susan? There's a lot of things that can get us down, but I truly believe that God has given us the gift of laughter for a reason. He wants us to use it. So be one of those people. And realize that anger is really useless in getting things done. Anger, it's how somebody treats you, or anything is really useless in truly getting things accomplished. Number 5, widen your comfort zone. Now, what am I talking about there? I'm saying, quite simply, ladies, that if you're easily offended, get over it. You know, being all consumed with this political correctness, I'm telling you, lighten up. If you are easily offended, widen your comfort zone and realize, I mean, hey, it takes all kinds to make up this life and make up this world, you know, and be accepting to them. Let me give you an example. And Susan, I know you could give this story. You've heard it so many times. As I told you, I took assignments all over the state of Alabama. And have we got anybody here from Autauga County? I know we've got a lot of students. Anybody here from Autauga County, Prattville? Well, in Autauga County, Prattville, they had a circuit clerk named Fred Posey. Fred Posey retired after serving 59 years as circuit clerk. Now, you divide that by 6 and think how many times he ran. And so he had been circuit clerk for like 45 years, I guess. You know, when I first started holding court there, the judge had cancer. I was filling in for Judge Walter Hayden, who is a fine jurist, but had cancer and was not doing well at all. And so I was holding court. And so Fred Posey was there, and so when I walk in, I'm doing a whole week of jury trials for folks in Autauga County. And as I walk, it's a big, huge, historic courtroom, at least as big as this, and I'm walking into the bench, and the bailiff gets up and said, "All rise, Judge Sue Bell presiding." And as I walk to the bench and sit down, Fred Posey jumps up, the clerk, and he said, "Ladies and gentlemen of Autauga County, you are here when history is made. For this is the first time a squaw has ever presided over a jury trial ever in the history of Autauga County." Now, I've told this to high school kids, and they'll go back to their teachers, and you know what question they ask? "Ms. Gooch, what is a squaw?" Just amazing. What is a squaw? Fortunately, they don't hear that now. Well, I get up in front of the bench, and I say, "Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Judge Sue Bell. I'm appointed by the Chief Justice as a special judge here in the Circuit Court of Autauga County because Judge Hayden is ill. I'm glad to be here. Right now we're going to qualify the jury, generally qualify you So we'll put you under oath and have you answer the questions to qualify you to generally serve, and then we'll select juries and specifically qualify you for specific trials today. So when I got through, I said, we're going to take a 10-minute recess and see if the first case is ready to begin. So we step off the bench. Fred Posey follows me into the judge's chambers, and I said, Fred Posey, I cannot believe you did that to me. You called me a squaw in front of 250 citizens of Watauga County. He said, I love you. You know I love you. I said, oh, honey, I know what you were doing. You were politicking the Bubbas and the Bubbettes. I know exactly what you were doing. At my expense, I can't believe you did that to me. He said, you know I love you. And I said, I love you too, Fred. So when I went back in, I said, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to know that Mr. Posey and I have arrived in an agreement. Mr. Posey has agreed never ever to call me a squaw, and I have agreed never ever to call him a politician.